Welcome back, everybody. Good morning, San Diego. So let's talk about this for a second. A lot of people are worried about investing in banks right now and their health in general due to what's going on with the impact of the coronavirus and that impact, what it's had on the economy. So joining us with some reasons why maybe we should not be so worried. We have the president of Wilsey Asset Management, Brent Wilsey, here in studio. Good morning to you, Brent. Great to see you.
Good morning, Liz. Great to be here.
So yeah, people in general, they're worried right now, right? At least some of them in banks and in their health. What are some of the reasons why you think we shouldn't worry so much about this?
Sure. Let's talk about this, Liz, because there's two things people are worried about. One, buying the stock, investing in the stock of the bank. The other one that concerns me more is that they're afraid of putting the money into the bank, and we can't have that start. So let's talk about why the banks are safer than we think. And what I'm telling people, this is not 2008. What people are concerned about is we heard that the banks, about the top 5 banks, took about $32 billion in write-offs on loans. Like, oh my gosh, that's terrible, the banks are going to fail. This is not 2008. If you remember back in 2008, the difference was in 2008, the values of homes were dropping dramatically. People were underwater in their mortgages, and therefore they were walking away from the mortgages. Fast forward to 2020, that is not the case. We now have rising home values. People have equity, so they do not want to walk away from those loans, because if they do that, well, the bank will have a nice profit. So people are not going to walk away from their loans. The other thing, too, that, Liz, people do not understand, and that's why I'm here, is to explain the bank accounting. What banks do when they have loans that they believe are at risk, what they do are write them off, is what it's called. And so they'll write them down to a $0 amount. But when people start paying those loans back, what happens, they become good loans again, and therefore they become income on the banks, and the banks will look phenomenal. Because right now the banks, they're losing money, they're not making as much money because those write-offs go against earnings. However, when they reverse those, which they will, because remember, they're not underwater, the homeowners aren't, that those will become positive loans, it'll give them income. And then the last one, we have to remember, banks are flush with cash right now, Liz. Back in 2008, after that, the Fed did come in and set up these stringent rules for the banks to follow, which they've done very well. They're very strong on capital, Tier 1 capital, all these different things. And also, too, the savings rate right now, Liz, is 23%. A lot of money going to the bank. So I'm telling people, do not be worried. The banks are strong. And even if you want to invest in the banks, that's okay as well. But don't think it's going to change tomorrow. I mean, we're looking at next summer is when we think things will be better for the banks.
You know what's crazy, Brent, is true story, before we even started this morning on Good Morning San Diego, and you can ask Jason, my co-anchor, who is sitting, at a social distance away from me. We were talking about something similar in investing, and I said, I just don't know right now. I'm not. So I fall into, this category of people who may be a little concerned about whether or not I want to take some money and continue to invest it through banks or the stock market for that matter. But so I'm glad that you are actually here talking to me among some of the others who might be a little worried that investing in banks right now, it might be a little dicey, and laying it out as to the 3 reasons, simply put, why,
And Liz, it is a very scary time, because it does appear like, things are going to collapse and so forth. And that's why we spend so much time looking at the financial statements of the banks and other companies to understand that, yes, we're in a difficult time frame. And I've been doing this for 40 years now, Liz. I know we'll get through it, because when I see the financial statements of companies, we're going to be fine, but we're not going to be fine tomorrow. You've got to, when you invest, you got to look down the road, 12, 18 months. And this is when you make your money. You make most of your money, they say, in a bear market. You just don't realize it until you come out and become in a bull market.
Brent, are you still doing these workshops that you have done for so many, for so many years, even with COVID-19? How is that working out for you?
Well, Liz, I'm glad you brought that up. We are still doing them. However, we're not doing them in person now. We're doing webinars. We actually do have one coming up August 13th, which is a Thursday. And if people want to check that out and attend it by webinar, go to our website, smartinvesting2000.com. Again, that's smartinvesting2000.com. And they can attend. It's all day on August 13th is the date.
Yeah, it's important, because, most of us who are not in your field, we don't understand accounting. We don't understand the system, hence why we are worried. And so it's, our lack of knowledge in how it all works and things to keep in mind that is what may be sparking a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what we like to do, is like to show people and educate
Yeah.
people so you're not afraid. And the thing is, it's fear of the unknown. That's what scares
Yeah.
us. We don't know things. But if you start understanding about investing, and we don't expect people to do it themselves the way we do it, but when I show you, kind of like your car, you know your car works. If it doesn't work, you know what's wrong with it, you take it to the mechanic. Same thing with investing. You know something's not right, who's going to fix it? Well, the guy that understands the accounting and investing.
I'll tell you who's going to fix it. Brent Wilsey with Wilsey Asset Management. Thank you so much, Brent. Great to see you.
Thank you, Liz.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.